Have you ever wondered about the true cost of unimaginable power? From the mythical mask of the Dragon Queen to the infamous Nether Scrolls, every legendary artifact holds a secret. Learn what they are, what they do, and why the sharpest minds in the realms bolt their doors when these names cross a threshold. The stakes are not abstract. Cities rise on the backs of artifacts. Cities fall when those same backs fail. Join us as we peel back the layers of time to uncover the mysterious origins and devastating consequences of these enigmatic relics. We begin with the scrolls that taught mortals to cast shadows taller than themselves. The Nether Scrolls gleam like hammered sunlight, thin as onion skin, heavy as a verdict. Originally known as the Golden Skins of the World Serpent, the Nether Scrolls are one set of 50 scrolls that dealt with fundamental magic theory. While the Nether Scrolls had no direct magical powers, they provided a vast body of arcane knowledge. It would take 8 hours of study a day for 3 10 days in order to even begin to comprehend the contents of a single scroll. When a reader gained sufficient understanding, rereading the scrolls provided additional insights. There did not seem to be any limit to the amount of information one scroll could contain. Although the amount of knowledge wasn't endless, it would still require an entire month to read through. Each set divides into 5 chapters whose lessons stick to the soul. One chapter elevates raw spellcraft, another lowers the cost and difficulty of creating magic items. A third unlocks the crafting of constructs with unnerving reliability. A fourth grants planar knowledge so deep that even plane shift becomes second nature. And the most secret chapter concerns the birth of artifacts themselves. Study 10 plates from a chapter, and the knowledge hardens into permanent capabilities. Netheril leveraged those pages to raise Mythalas and floating cities, the folly that their empire echoes to this day. Set the scrolls aside and weigh a different kind of lore. The tablets of fate are plain clay slabs etched with the names and portfolios of gods and primordials, a cosmic ledger forged by Ayo to balance law and chaos, and to keep Abair and Toril from grinding together. When Bane and Miakul stole the tablets, deities were cast down among cobbles that smelled of horse sweat and spilled wine, the time of troubles. Ayo destroyed the recovered tablets, which unraveled the rules for a time, then rewrote them in the second sundering. Order is a tool. Remove it, and the world falls into chaos. South and east, beyond the Sea of Swords, a single dinar glints under market awnings that smell of cardamom and dust. The coin of Jisan bears a veiled woman's face on both sides, and it is as old as her worship. In the right palm, it fattens ledgers and fields alike. Merchants find deals that tilt in their favor. Crops surge after lean seasons. Herds throw twins. Its bearer gains a knack for persuasion and growth, suggestion and plant growth by will. And on rare days when clouds gather like camels at a well, even the breadth to tug weather itself. It is said the coin shows up only in Zakara, bestowed on the worthy or found where fate wants plenty. But the coin's design is generosity, not greed. Hoard it, and the curse wakes. Appetite swells with avarice until tea, coffee, and food vanish in heaps that still don't quiet the hunger. Caliphs who tried to seize it sparked revolts. Wiser rulers married their houses to its keepers. Tao covet it, holy slayers hunt it, and no owner holds it longer than a handful of years. The only clean way out is to give it freely to a stranger. It multiplies what you share and punishes what you clutch. That is the bargain stamped into the gold. Cold travels next. Near Port Nyanzaru's bright market, a guide leans against a salt-damp post, sandals squeaking on wet planks. A northerner with steady eyes and a steaming map case buys dried mango and leaves frost on the coin. The fruit snaps like glass between his teeth. The smaller costs chill the bones. Doors sealed by hoarfrost. Conversations that grow brittle and short. The Ring of Winter is a sentient artifact that numbs the hand before it numbs the world. It halts natural aging, shrouds itself from scrying, and grants total immunity to cold. Its magic refreshes at dawn, fueling brutal weather shifts and a stable of icy spells. Cone of cold, wall of ice, Otterluke's freezing sphere, even an iced-over variant of flesh to stone. With more effort, it sculpts metal-hard ice tools or animates small ice creatures. Legends insist it can freeze coasts and bend white dragons. Little is known about the true origin of the ring. Gleaned from ancient history, the ring was created during the time when the countries of the realms were little more than scattered villages. It was forged by a powerful mage that some say was a Zuth before he became a god, and was kissed by Auril, the goddess of winter. We continue our journey with a crown made from a god's last exhale. The crown of horns carries Myrkul's residue, dry and relentless. Worn too long, it stokes paranoia, twists outlook, and shoves its bearer toward undeath. The crown grants immunity to death magic, a lich-like fear aura, and power over the dead. Some wearers blink across leagues once a 10-day, while others unleash a ray of undeath that scour flesh. Myrkul's hand, which surrounds the wearer's hands with black flames. Their touch, engulfing creatures in dark conflagration, possibly transforming them into greater shadow wraiths. While its origins are murky, the crown was believed to have been forged either in ancient Netheril or by Myrkul, the former god of death himself. Once the artifact likes you, you don't take it off unless the will inside allows it. Shift from death's murmur to a lineage singing in steel. A moonblade looks simple on its stand. Oak leaf quillons, a silver edge thin enough to sing as it cuts through the air. It judges an heir during the blade rite. Wield it, and a new rune blooms on the blade. Each wielder contributes a power to the sword, which is absorbed through the moonstone in the blade's pommel. Sharper bonuses to hit and damage, a flash that blinds enemies, the finesse feat, a ring of spell-storing memory, even a final ascension into a vorpal edge. Sentient and choosy, the Moonblade serves elven ideals, not mere blood. One night, fog thick as sheepskin, lanterns painting small amber pools. An apprentice stands on a slate roof, damp cooling the tongue. She reaches for the staff and hears voices like riverbed gravel. Not words, weight. Resin warmth spreads across her palm. The shingles stop feeling treacherous. From that moment, the city's posture changes. Authority tastes like sap and salt and sleeplessness. We find ourselves in Waterdeep, the Blackstaff, a sentient staff of office that doubles as a full staff of power, bolstering armor, saves, and spell strikes, and then goes further. It animates the city's walking statues on command, dispels at a touch, drains enemy spell slots on a hit, and lets a skilled mind cast enchantments without spending a slot. The spirits of former Blackstaffs ride the grain. Their purpose is simple: protect Waterdeep and its open lord. Open the iron cradle with 5 colors trapped in one face. The 5 chromatic dragon masks confuse into the mask of the Dragon Queen, crown-like heads roaring their devotion. The combined mask lets its wearer call upon any single mask's toolkit while absorbing all 5 elemental damages, and it even grants a clutch of legendary resistances, those last-ditch refusals to fail. Additionally, each of the masks allows the wearer to exert a limited form of influence over chromatic dragons, as well as the ability to understand and speak the draconic language. In rites to free Tiamat by the efforts of the reformed cult of the dragon, the combined mask is both key and amplifier. Remove it from the board and the summoning stutters. Now, we turn the lens from worship to truth. The staff, often called the Scepter of Savras, began as a prison wrought by Azuth to hold a god. Strike a creature, and the staff can cage it. Strike an avatar of a deity, and Toril itself forgets that god's touch. While charged with divinity, the staff becomes a gallery of sight, scrying across planes, mind-reading, and the power to cast divinations, or even block them by invoking Savras's name. The staff resists location, teleports when it wishes, and frays minds that carry it too long. It has been Azuth's intention to carry the scepter indefinitely as a staff of office, the power of which he could draw upon to augment his own. However, Savras retained just enough divine strength to teleport the scepter away into the realms, where his divinatory power was sufficient to block Azuth's. Some stories say only a divine hand can open its lock. We hope you enjoyed this journey through some of Faerun's legendary artifacts, but carry this truth with you out of the vault. Artifacts don't gift power, they leverage it. They heighten talent and flaw together, and their side effects are not footnotes. Judgment erodes as certainty hardens. Dependence sets in, sleep thins, food tastes like paper, and you start to hear the room breathe. Collateral spills outward, alliances buckle, cults swarm, and old gods notice. Even a clean use leaves residue, wards that never cool, and friends who no longer trust your quiet. If a relic ever sits within reach, set terms before it sets them. Speak your name, so the deed has an owner. Define one act you will not perform, even to save a city. Count who pays beyond you, neighbors, bystanders, the street that takes the blast. Power that cannot take a boundary is not a tool, it is a trap with good manners. So what price would you accept, and who writes the receipt? Heroes in the realms are measured less by what they wield than by what they refuse. For more lore that entertains first and sharpens your table's choices, subscribe and stay with us. The next story may save you a costly mistake.